You've Googled it. You've used three different mortgage calculators. You've gotten three different numbers. One says you can afford $280,000. One says $340,000. One wanted your social security number before it would tell you a damn thing. So which one is right? None of them, because none of them are pulling Tulsa numbers. And in this market, that gap is costing buyers around $500 a month. I'm Michael Saveth. I'm a Tulsa realtor, a lifelong Tulsan, and a big part of what I do is I help first-time buyers in Tulsa make smart moves on their first home. Some are renting and ready to stop. Some are couples figuring it out together. Some are stretching every dollar to make this work. There's no single right path, but there is an honest one. So that's what this video is. Real Tulsa numbers, real neighborhoods, real decision points called out so you can make them with your eyes open. Let's get into it. All right, so before we run your numbers, you need to know three things that actually decide it. The first thing is your mortgage rate. Right now, the 30-year fixed is sitting around 6.23% according to Freddie Mac. That's the rate the bank is going to quote you on a standard fixed loan, and it sets your monthly payment more than almost anything. Next up is going to be property tax. Tulsa County runs around 1% of your home's value per year, so a $250,000 home is roughly $2,500 a year, or about $200 a month, baked right into your payment. Lower than a lot of states, but it's not zero, which is what some of the national calculators basically assume. And then there's the third one, the one that no one is plugging into their calculator: homeowners insurance in Oklahoma. We're going to come back to that in a few minutes because it matters way more than most buyers realize. So those are your three inputs: mortgage rate, property tax, insurance. Now let's plug them into a real Tulsa budget. All right, so let me walk you through three real Tulsa situations and see which one sounds the most like you. Let's say that you make 60 grand a year. Maybe you've been renting in Tulsa for a few years. Maybe your rent just went up again and you're sitting in your apartment thinking the math has got to work somewhere. Here's the thing, it does. Take home around 4 grand a month. The honest home price that you can carry without losing sleep is between 160 and 190,000. In Tulsa County, that's a real 3-bedroom with a yard. East Tulsa, parts of Sand Springs, older sections of Broken Arrow near the Rose District, neighborhoods like Kendall Whittier, and a couple zip codes like 74129, 74146, and 74112. Definitely plug those in. It's not Pinterest, it's not a magazine cover, it's yours, and at least you're not paying off someone else's mortgage anymore. Now let's bump it up 90,000 a year household. Maybe you're both working, maybe one of you just got a raise, maybe a kid's on the way, and the apartment is starting to feel small. Take home around 5,800 a month. Your honest range jumps up between 260 and 290,000. Now you're in central parts of Broken Arrow, South Tulsa, older sections of Owasso, in Midtown if you'd be patient, and that's where most of the couples I sit down with actually land. And then there's the higher end household income is 125,000 and above. Take home around 8 grand a month. I would say honest range is 360 to 410,000. And now we're talking Jinx, Bixby, the newer parts of Broken Arrow, the premium pockets of South Tulsa, parts of Maple Ridge. In Tulsa, 400 grand is a really nice home. Now look, every county and every zip is a little bit different. Bixby's median is sitting around 320. Jinx is closer to 379. Sand Springs is right at 247. So if you want me to break down a specific area or zip, drop it in the comments and I'll do my best to cover it. And I will say a quick disclaimer on all three. These assume 5% down, decent credit, and you're not carrying a bunch of monthly debt. More money down, your number goes up. Big car payment plus student loans comes down. Your actual number is specific to you, which is exactly why a 20-minute conversation with a real lender is going to beat a calculator on the internet. And when you work with me, I have a handful of select Tulsa lenders that I trust to walk you through it the right way. Hey, real quick, before we keep going, let me tell you something real. My very first deal as a realtor and my second deal, both of them were almost a bust. Both couples were ready to give up on buying. Numbers were not working out. Lenders had told them it was not going to happen. They were all emotionally done. But we sat down, we crunched the numbers, we dug deep on what they actually needed versus what they were chasing. We found the right lender, the right neighborhood, the right price point, and both of those couples ended up in beautiful beautiful homes that they actually still live in today. Both deals were absolute home runs. I tell you this because if you're sitting there right now thinking, I don't know if I can pull this off in Tulsa, I really want you to hear me. The math almost always works if somebody is actually willing to do the work with you instead of just running through a calculator and just ghosting you. So if any of those three situations just hit and you're thinking, okay, I might actually be ready to do this, drop a comment below and tell me where you're at. Renting and ready to stop, couples trying to figure it out, or just exploring. I really truly want to know. And if you're past the thinking stage and you're ready to actually start looking, the link to reach me is in the description. Helping someone buy their first home in Tulsa is honestly probably one of my favorite parts of this career. All right, so back to it. So now back to that entrance number, because here's the deal. This is the one that quietly wrecks most first-time buyer budgets in Oklahoma. Most online calculators do not include this, and most, not all, but most realtors won't bring it up before you sign a contract, so I'm going to. Oklahoma is officially the most expensive state in the country for homeowners insurance. NerdWallet has us at $7,255 a year on average. Bankrate has us at $4,695. Insurify is projecting another 5% jump by the end of 2026, on top of the 24% we already saw in 25. Honest number for most first-time buyer homes in Tulsa lands somewhere between $3,500 and $5,000 a year, depending on your home, your roof, your carrier, your zip. That's $290 to $420 a month built right into your mortgage payment. Why is it so high, Michael? Well, great question. We get tornadoes, we have hail, wind events, and many other events that happen. The insurers price the risk, and we live in this weather. That's the deal. And here's why this matters for your budget. A buyer hears their lender say their payment's going to be $1,800 a month. They run the numbers, it works, they're excited. Then 3 months after closing, they get their first escrow statement, and the actual payment is $2,150 a month, because no one walked them through what insurance actually costs them in this state. $350 a month. Every month for 30 years. That's the difference between a house you love and a house that owns you. Now look, this is not a reason to skip Tulsa. We are still widely more affordable than almost every major metro in the country. It's a reason to know the full math before you sign, not after. All right, so here's the rule that I tell every first-time buyer that I sit down with. This is the difference between owning a home and being owned by one. Whatever number your lender approves you for, take 10 to 15% off the top before you start shopping. Lender approves you for $320, shop at $275. Lender says $250, well, you shop at $215. Here's why. The lender's job is to figure out the absolute maximum you can technically pay every month without defaulting on the loan. That is not the same as the amount that you can pay every month and still take a vacation, fix the dishwasher when it breaks, save anything for retirement, and not be one bad month away from a full-blown panic attack about how the hell you're gonna make your next month's payment. You're buying this house for 30 years. Life is gonna happen in those 30 years. Build in the room for it now, not after. So here's the bottom line. The honest answer to how much house you can afford in Tulsa isn't what your lender approves you for. It's the number minus 10 to 15%. With taxes and insurance baked into your monthly, that's the math that actually lets you live. So listen, if anything in this video clicked for you, do me a favor, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this video reach someone who's sitting where you were 7 minutes ago, wondering if they can finally afford to buy in Tulsa. Drop a comment and tell me what hit the hardest. The insurance thing, the 15% rule, something I missed, or something I need to correct. I read every single one of the comments. And if you've got somebody in your life right now who keeps saying, I don't know if I can afford a house, send this to them. It might be the thing that finally makes the math click for them. So if you're actually ready to start looking, my Calendly link and contact information are in the description below. I would be honored to help. And remember, whatever you do, I'm in your corner.